What is up, everybody? Welcome to the eighth. Are we on
Eighth
eight now?
episode. Eighth
Eighth
episode.
episode of the Gate Six podcast. Yankees unfortunately just lost their first series in quite a while to the Toronto Blue Jays, but it has still been a successful few series since we last recorded. Nate, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, we're ready. You're ready. Let's do it.
Big pitch coming. 3-0 Twins. Yankees threatening. And the pitch rocked to right field. Tie game.
All right, what is up, everybody? Thank you so much for listening to the eighth episode of the Gate 6 podcast. Like I said, the Yankees just dropped 2 of 3 to Toronto, but they played 3 series since we last recorded against the Padres, Red Sox, and Blue Jays, and they won 2 of those 3. Nate, how you doing? How you feeling?
I mean, a little upset. First series loss in God knows how long, but it's gonna happen. 9 straight comes to an end, but Yankees are rolling. School's almost over. Very excited for the summer. So right now, pretty good. How you doing, Max?
I'm doing great. We're in the midst of finals right now, but I just have one more thing. I have a biology paper that I have to get done that I have to hand in by Wednesday, and then after that, I'm off the hook for the year. My Nets had a nice trade yesterday. They dumped Alan Crabb's salary on the Hawks, so we'll see. Seems like they really want to go for KD and maybe Kyrie this summer. Right now,
Go the next.
very distant second thought in my mind to the Yankees.
Yes.
But yeah, doing well. Nate and I leave for Israel in 2 weeks.
Very exciting.
Nate and I are probably going to be hanging out and recording sometime next week, and I'm going to be in Stamford for a school trip, so that's exciting.
Yep.
But yeah, we're doing well. So we actually have an exciting new partnership to announce with a ticket company. Nate, you want to give them a shout out and give a shout out to our other good friends over on Instagram?
Sure. So shout out to Ticket IQ. Very cheap and reliable tickets. They have an app, Ticket IQ, or a website, ticketiq.com. Very friendly customer service. Any questions, they're always, within a minute answering your questions. Very cheap. So, and use promo code, there are 3 of them. Gate6Pod10 for $10 off any purchase of $50 or more. Gate6Pod20 for any purchase over for $20 off any purchase of $100 or more, and then Gate 6 for 6% off any purchase. All that information is in the Instagram and Twitter accounts because that's okay.
Yeah, you can check them on our Instagram. We'll remind you of them at the end.
Yeah, for sure. But and then shout out to Yanks Universe once again on Instagram. Great Yankee updates, news, whatever you need there. Go check them out on Instagram at Yanks Universe.
Absolutely. All right, so like we said, Yankees have had 3 series since we last recorded. I'm pretty happy with them. Let's see. So they were all 3-game sets, right?
Yeah, all 3.
So
well, I guess Boston was 4, but one game got rained out.
5 and 4. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, 5 and 4.
Yeah, which I don't know. I feel like. So we lost 3 in a row, obviously. That's the elephant in the room. We lost the last game of the Boston series and the first 2 of this series against Toronto. The only one of these losses that I really hated was the 11-7 loss to Toronto because they had that game. Everyone was hitting. Who pitched that game? It was Paxton. Yeah, Paxton pitched well enough. And then Boone played the bullpen well. You go to Britain there, that makes a ton of sense. And then, he just gives up, Vlad Jr. That guy's going to be a Yankees killer for a long time. He hits a 3-run homer, and from there on, they don't look back. But yesterday was a good win. DJ was hitting. Nate, where are you at with your general state of the team right now? Because I think, the high of, when we had won 31 of our last 41 or whatever it was, and it was the scrappy AAA Yankees in May, no one can beat, I think we're a little off of that, but I don't know if we're necessarily I think we're a lot closer to that than to, all right, wild card time, let's do it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Yanks are still in first place by, I think, 2 games up on the Rays, 6.5 up on Boston. So still in first place. Yeah, they've lost
1.5 on the Rays.
1.5 Rays.
Yeah.
Okay, it's getting closer, but
Same thing.
but still in first place. And at some point, the team's gonna lose some games. Even the Dodgers and Twins lose some games. So yeah, against Toronto, you don't want to lose against because they're terrible this year. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not mad at the team. I'm not mad.
I think it's kind of funny that it's June 7th, and if you had told me in March, like when we're talking about teams losing games, we're like, yeah, the Dodgers are losing some games, the Twins are losing some games. Like, oh, the Twins? Really? They're a good team.
Twins, they're insane.
I want to go on the record right now as saying I think the Twins are the biggest pretenders of all time, and I think they're going to lose in the ALDS if they make the playoffs.
Wow.
I'm going on the record with saying that right now. I don't think they can match up with the Yankees. Have always dominated the Twins. It's just like the thing. I don't think they're facing up with the Astros. The Red Sox or Rays maybe, but even then, I think Boston is going to step it up towards the end of the year. We've seen them get hot recently. Yeah. They are a lot closer to the team that won, I don't know, what was it? It was like 13 of 15 or something like that, than the team that started off the season like 7-19 or whatever it was.
For sure.
Boston's dismissed, and I think I was at a point where I was like, okay, I'm a little more concerned about the Rays and the Red Sox. I think that's worn off. I think Boston is definitely the more long-term concern, but I could very well see both of them getting the 2 wild card spots in the AL if we win the division.
Yeah.
So the other big story that everyone's talking about that I wouldn't call it a non-story, but I think people are just like making it way bigger of a deal than it has to be, is Clint Frazier's defense and his reluctance to speak to the media. I've been a big Clint supporter for a long time. When the whole thing happened with, the Yankees telling me he had to shave his head, he had to shave his beard and whatever, and like when apparently Susan Waldman made up some story about how he asked for like Mickey Mantle's number 7, and everyone always, any Yankees fan over the age of 60, hates when he posts all those, Instagram pictures of his cleats or like songs with like rap captions or whatever. I don't hate it. I think let your play on the field speak for itself. If Austin Romine was posting stuff like that, I might be like, all right, tone it down a little bit. But Clint, I don't mind. But was this incident something new for you that, like, I don't know what your stance on Clint has been for a long time, whether you've been pro or like, against all of his, I guess you could call them antics. What did you make of his whole debacle with saying like the media has treated him unfairly and refusing to talk to them after that last Boston game?
I mean, obviously, that play in Boston in the right field, that when we got past him and scored like 3 runs or 2 runs, even if he did speak to the media, which I think he should have done, he would have just said, I made a mistake. It's my fault. He was going to say, it was Aaron Hicks' fault. So I think we all know what he was going to say. But I still think he should have spoken to the media, shown ownership for his mistake, instead of having his teammates speak for him. However, I feel like people are making that such a big deal that he didn't speak to the media. I mean, I don't agree with it again, but I think that the story shouldn't have been as big as it got, because the day after he had a 2-run bomb against Toronto. So I mean, it's not like he's 0 for 20 with 10 strikeouts and making those plays still. So
yeah, it is such a great Clint Frazier storyline that he homered in like the very next game after that. Because like of course he did. I don't know. I think ideally, he would have just come to the media and said like, whatever, I made a mistake. You do what you can do. Like, at the end of the day, it was a team loss, and I'm sorry, and we're gonna move on. I saw some. At the end of the day, like everyone has bad days at their jobs. I'm sure you and I have bad days in school. Yeah. Like, can you imagine having to face, like dozens of reporters every time like you screw up and having to answer these questions? Like, granted, he's playing in New York. If you want to play in New York, even if you want to play in the major leagues at all, but especially in New York or a big market, like you realize you're going to have to face the media. The Yankees put their players through a ton of training, but at the end of the day, he's young, and I think he's going to learn from it. There were people saying like, oh, what's his trade value at right now? If the Yankees trade Clint Frazier, if they put him in a package for like Scherzer, I'll be like, fine. If anybody's throwing Clint Frazier's name around in a deal for like Bumgarner, or I like Stroman, but even Stroman, I would be like, man, that would be just a terrible mistake. That wouldn't make any sense, especially like if you're going to trade Clint Frazier, you trade him when his value is high, not when he's had, a bunch of debacles where he's shown he's not a good clubhouse guy or that he, is a terrible defensive player. And also, another thing that everyone keeps tweeting out is like every day he's out there in right field before BP and after BP for a few extra minutes, taking, fly balls in right field with the outfield coach or with Judge or whatever. Like, he's working to get better. It's not like this is something that he's content with.
Yeah, right. He's a hard worker, yeah. So
absolutely. I don't know.
Also, I was saying on that, if I remember correctly, he started in left field with the Yankees, right? And then he got that concussion. So like this is still relatively new.
The concussion
right
could
field for him.
Very well still be a part of it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I think there's a good chance that he's, that there's still some after effects of that.
Yeah, for sure. So he's still kind of getting back into things. It's no excuse, to make this kind of plays, but
yeah, obviously.
I think it's not, he's still working hard. He's not like just doing nothing, at least. So that's a good
thing. It's not an excuse, but it's an explanation. Like you see what, like that's definitely a valid argument. Okay. Well, one pleasant surprise recently has been Jay Happ. He pitched incredibly well last night in Toronto. I saw a stat. Let me pull it up. That this stat really surprised me. But then when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. It said the Yankees have won Jay Happ's last 6 starts and are 9-1 in his last 10 starts.
Oh wow!
Which it sounds like obviously starting pitcher wins versus like. The Yankees could have also won, 10 straight games that Tyler Clippard appeared in 2017. That doesn't mean that. Like, Happ could have an 8 ERA in all those games, and the Yankees still find a way to win all 10. Like, that's very possible. But I think when you have something like that shows at least, like, I'm sure he's had 1 or 2 games in there where he's given up, 5 earned runs, and, the team, the offense has just picked it up. But I think the fact that they're able to win that, he's able to keep them in that many games shows that, like, a lot of people were writing him off at the beginning of the year. I had concerns about his home runs, like, even in spring training, but, spring training is such a crapshoot that whatever. But when it came into the season and he was giving up a ton of home runs to the Orioles and whatever, I was like, man, I don't know. But for now, he has my trust. What about you?
Yeah. And Happ has a career, like he's known for being well against the Red Sox. So he pitched pretty well against Red Sox, and I think Friday it was. Beat Chris Sale, so that was a solid start. Then gets Toronto, dominated. So this guy's a veteran, Last year didn't lose a game with the Yankees, so he has potential. He may have got off to a pretty rough start, but I think now he's kind of in the midst of things, routines, back on track. So I think he's gonna continue to pitch well as a 3 or 4 guy until Severino comes back. Paxton just came back,
absolutely.
So I think right now he's fitting his role. Perfectly, honestly.
Yeah, the other obviously one big debate the Yankees had all offseason was what starting pitcher do you go after, and obviously until yesterday there was another one still on the table. Dallas Keuchel is now signed with the Atlanta Braves, as we all know, and Kimbrel went to the Cubs, but the Yankees were never really in on Kimbrel, it seems, and they didn't need to. Glad he didn't go to Boston. It's a big mistake on their part.
Yes, for sure.
I don't know. So he got 1-13 from Atlanta, right? 13 prorate. It's like 13 prorated for this year.
Right.
It seems like that's the Yankees were offering 1-12 or 1-13 at that point. Like, if you're offering him 1-18, that's a little excessive for a guy who's going to be pitching for you for 4 months.
Yeah, right.
Like, I definitely see why they didn't want to go to 18. If you're offering him 11 and the Braves are offering him 13 and he goes to the Braves, at the end of the day, that's a matter of him preferring the Braves over the Yankees, not a matter of those $2 million. I think.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
A lot of fans on Twitter seemed like, okay, now that we missed now that we missed on Keuchel, like we have to go all in for Scherzer. The way I'm thinking about it is when come, September and October, we're going to have 7 starting pitchers, and that's Tanaka, Herman, Paxton, Happ, CC, Severino, Montgomery.
Right.
So that's 7 guys. Granted, there's obviously injury concerns with Severino and Montgomery. We don't know if they're going to for sure be great when they come back. Herman, it seems like they may move him to the bullpen for a little while because of the innings limit. Yep. But I think between those 7 guys, you can put together a respectable enough rotation. We've seen them do bullpen days, and those work just fine. I wouldn't rely on them, but I think if you want to go to those 3 times a month, I don't think that's an issue. Are you at a point where you think that a starting pitcher is a necessity? Is it a luxury? What do you think about, grabbing, if we had grabbed Keuchel or if we needed to grab another pitcher or if we need to grab another pitcher at the deadline?
I think we don't need a pitcher at the deadline because come postseason, if you think about it, the games aren't like, you don't play 7 games straight in the postseason.
Right.
So if it's, say best of 5 in the ALDS, that's maximum 5 games. Your top 3 starters are probably only going to pitch. So you don't need 7 guys, which 4 of them would be sitting on the bench for, in a best of 5 or even best of 7 playoff series. And a best of 7, maybe you need 4 guys, but 7, there's no way you're going to pitch 1 guy every game. So it'd be nice to get Keuchel, I guess, for injury concerns. He's a ground ball pitcher in Yankee Stadium. But for $18 million, yeah, I'm gonna I think we both agree that like 1 year in like a $10 million range, like give or take, is okay. But towards $20 million, there's no way I'm paying Dallas Keuchel $20 million for like what 5 months.
Not even like 4.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. I think you're. So at first, like I had a mindset kind of similar to yours about the postseason, but then also like it's not about the postseason; it's about getting there.
True.
The question mark for me is what they're going to end up doing with Herman. There are a couple ways you could go about that. Number one, they could ditch the innings limit, which I don't think they're going to do. I think they're going to keep that because they want him healthy for the long term. I guess they could have a phantom IL stint, obviously. That way you can get somebody else up on the roster. They could skip a few starts here and there. They could move him to the bullpen for a little while. They could place a pitch limit, like maybe he only throws 80 pitches per start for 5 or 6 straight starts. The other thing they could do is when Severino and Montgomery start coming back, you're going to have the 6-7 man rotation. Everyone's going to start throwing fewer days, So I guess that problem just figures itself out. But I think, don't get me wrong, I still think if it comes down to it, like I wouldn't mind getting another pitcher. I don't think it's the kind of thing that we need to go all in Scherzer bust, Mad Bum or bust, which I think we're in agreement that neither of us really want Mad Bum.
Yeah.
Stroman, I like him. I don't love him. I think you got to give we'll see. That's the kind of thing that I think is going to figure it out as we get to it. And also at the end of the day, even if they don't trade for a pitcher at the deadline is July. Is that this year or next year that the deadline?
This year it's in play. Like July 31st is the final deadline. No trades or waivers can happen after that.
Right. So that's July 31st. And then, when Severino coming back, I think August 15th, sometime around then. So you're essentially getting, like, even if you don't trade for anyone, you're getting a starting pitcher back. And, hey, I know I keep bringing him up. Montgomery is a respectable starting pitcher. He's not going to be a top 3 ace on this team. I don't think he's going to start a playoff game unless something goes wildly wrong. But I think he's a respectable guy that's going to give us 5-10 starts towards the end of the year.
Yeah, he had a great first year with the Yankees, had like a 3.8 ERA, which is great for a rookie season. So he's shown great potential. Got hurt, unfortunately, beginning of last year, which sucked. But I mean, and he's a lefty, which means we'll have 3 lefties in the rotation, which is interesting. CC, Paxton, Montgomery. But anyways,
half.
4. Wow, and half.
So 4,
so,
yeah.
Wow, interesting. But yeah, right. And so with Severino and Montgomery, you're getting back 2 pitchers. And any team, the Giants are rebuilding. The Nationals for sure are going to want like a boatload, obviously, and Toronto's going to want, a good amount for Stroman. So I don't understand. I don't think they should trade. I just don't see giving up, solid players for people who are good. They're good pitchers. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think we have the stuff right now to win. Like last year, if you asked me, sure, get a pitcher. We need one. But this year, I think not the case.
I mean, again, I think this is the kind of thing that we're going to talk about it in 6-7 weeks when the deadline is closer, and we're going to have a totally different discussion because we're going to have a clearer picture of what's happening with Herman.
Yep.
Hopefully, we're going to have some more updates on Sevy. Maybe, like we're going to see we're going to have a better view of how the rotation is shaping up for down the stretch. So I wouldn't say that like it's definite. Like, yeah, we don't need anybody. We're good with the guys we have. Also, the thing about Montgomery is, Tommy John surgery. You never know. For all we know, he could come back and be terrible. But I mean, it's obviously never anything definitive when you have Tommy John surgery. Hopefully everything's fine. Yeah, we'll see. It's one of those things you can't really control and kind of have to let happen. But
Yeah, exactly.
even if he doesn't come, I think between the 6 of, even not including Montgomery, the other 6, I think at least 3 or 4 of them are going to be, very good. Or not even very good, but like you're very comfortable throwing them out there, and the other ones are like respectable, if that makes sense.
Right.
Well, speaking of Tommy John surgery, there's a certain shortstop returning later tonight. I unfortunately can't watch because it's Shabbat, which I'm very upset about. But the idea that I know that he's out there playing for the New York Yankees on a baseball field is so exciting to me. I'm so excited for his post-game tweets.
Oh,
For
right.
his defense, that lefty bat in the middle of the order. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited for Mariex and Julius Gregorius to return to the Yankees lineup tonight.
Yep. I mean, so ahead of schedule, which is a blessing.
Incredible.
So tonight is he playing or just being activated?
He's playing. He's playing tonight.
He'll be in it. Is he playing short or DHing? Or do we not know that yet?
So I would imagine. I think for his first game back, they're gonna throw him at short for a little bit of the excitement. I don't know. They maybe they'll then DH him for the other 2 games. It seems like they're gonna have him DH a good amount when he first gets back.
Yanks probably go Gio third, Didi short, Glaber second, Voit first, and then LeMahieu.
Well, so I mean, I think we've had this discussion a little bit. I think. Well, so we can get to this in a little bit. But Tyro Estrada was optioned. Okay. He was the guy that got sent down. I think what they're going to end up doing is LeMahieu's going to place him first, and Voigt's going to DH. But ultimately, you have Gio, DJ, Didi, Glaber, Voigt, and did I say LeMahieu?
Yes, DJ.
DJ, Gio, Glaber, Didi, Voigt,
Torres. Oh, you said Glaber. You said Glaber.
Right, whatever.
Okay, you get the point.
Hold on. Let me pull up the roster just right. Voigt, Urshela, Glaber, Didi, LeMahieu. Between those 5 guys, you split those. Yeah, it is just those 5. You split those between the 4 infield positions and DH. Obviously, Gary's going to need some days where he DHs. Romine starts. One of those guys sits.
Yeah.
Look, not everyone's going to start every game. We don't have Cal Ripken Jr. and Lou Gehrig at every position that they're playing 162 games a year. So it's not the kind of thing where you're like, all right, well, I guess Didi's coming back. So DJ, you're coming off the bench now. Like, it's definitely not going to be a matter of that. It's not a matter of, Gio's only going to start twice a week now. All these guys, they're going to be in a rotation. I think that's what's going to end up happening. The team will be saying that each of these guys is going to get probably a day off a week, maybe. They rotate DHing. I would imagine. I think Voigt is probably going to do a good amount of the DHing, but if you want to mix in half days off, I don't know, maybe Glaber needs a day. The thing that I don't really love about DJ at first is so much of his value is his defense.
Exactly.
That
right.
You don't really
second to third.
And Voigt has been respectable at first this year. I wouldn't say he's been great. He's been better than he was last year, but he's not a Gold Glover by any means. Yeah, I think it's just going to be the kind of thing that they just rotate around. Yeah, and Didi's gonna get his days at DH when he comes back immediately. They're not gonna throw him in there immediately. I'm a little concerned that he's gonna go 0 for his first 15 or whatever, and fans are gonna do the immediate like, oh, we should have spent more time in AAA because we saw that Hicks was a little bit slow getting back, but now he had a monster home run last night. So it seems like Hicks is getting towards a player that we've seen in the past. Didi, his timing is going to be still a little off when he gets back, I would imagine. So I really don't want anybody saying, oh, that he spent a very good amount of time in the minor leagues. He rehabbed for 10 days maybe, 2 weeks.
Wow, yeah.
A lot.
He had
a
lot of games
good amount. So I'm not concerned about that by any means, even if he doesn't look. I don't think we can expect him to come back and immediately be the 25 home run shortstop that we've seen recently.
That's not fair.
If his defense isn't there, that'll be a little concerning. But like we said, he'll probably beat DH a good amount. Anyways.
Yeah, that's Didi. I mean, it's big because the Yankees very right-handed heavy right now.
Yeah.
So kind of balance out a little bit in the middle of the order. Very exciting. I mean, it's Didi. He's like the like when you say Didi, you can't be sad.
Exactly. It's a happy name.
Didi. Exactly, Didi. You can't cry and say Didi. You're like down and say Didi.
That's a good point.
It just doesn't happen. So.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that Estrada was the guy they sent down. I thought, well, no, I wasn't surprised. I just disagree with the move. I would have gone with Morales because I think LeMahieu's the backup first baseman. I think maybe also if they can't option Morales, he would have been needed to be DFA'd, but that would have meant that that they also because now Estrada was what's it called? Estrada's still in the 40 man, so they have to make a corresponding 40-man move, which I think might be putting Tulowitzki on the 60-day DL, but or maybe Jake Barrett or something. I don't know for sure. I'm assuming they'll have to announce it before tonight, obviously. I don't know. Morales, he's had his good days, he's had his bad days. They've said on the broadcast a few times that the Yankees value his value in the his presence in the clubhouse, and that's not just saying like, oh, he's a nice guy in the clubhouse and everyone likes him. It seems like he really does his work with scouting out different pitchers, and he gives out scouting reports to like
I heard that.
each player before the game, they've said. So it seems like the value him has a lot of that. Sounds like he would be a great hitting coach, but I don't know. I just think for the production on the field, I guess in all fairness, Tyro's not going to be playing that much anyways if he's at the major league level when Didi comes back, because like we said, even DJ's going to take a few days off here and there. So is Gio. I guess if you want him to get every day at bats, it makes sense for him to go to AAA. Maybe you keep his trade value up a little bit that way if he ends up getting traded, which we've discussed in the past whether he should get traded or not. I don't love the move, but at the end of the day, I trust Cashman, and so you do what you can do.
Yeah, I mean, I think I want to see Morales being sent down just because his play has been
not sent down, but
DFA, right? Because he's not gonna get some he's only plays first base or DH, so he's not gonna get that much time anymore.
Doesn't have versatility.
Yeah, but the only time I see him playing is I guess pinch hitting if there's like a switch hitter, if there's a lefty and maybe about righty or something or other way around. But I don't see him playing at all, honestly.
Yeah,
there's no room for him. I
don't know. I mean, I see you could make the same argument for Tyro. That's the thing. If you want to get Tyro every day at bats, AAA is the only thing you could really do, which is kind of why they kept Clinton AAA for a long time last year. And I mean, it's looked like it's worked so far. But yeah, what can you do? I trust Cashman, and I'm sure they'll recall Tyro eventually. I think within 6 weeks, Tyro will either have been back up on the major league roster or will have been traded.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'll go on the record with saying that now, but we keep talking about the rotation in the middle infield, and I think the hottest hitter on our team right now, I think we would be in agreement, is DJ, right?
Oh yeah,
that guy won't stop hitting. I saw a tweet that it sounds pretty ridiculous when you first hear it, and then I thought about it, and I was like, yeah. And it said DJ LeMahieu is the closest thing the Yankees have had to Derek Jeter since Derek Jeter. Which, when you first hear it, it's like, all right, whoa, DJ Jeter, let's
calm down
a bit here. But, I mean, look, the guy, he sprays singles all over the field. He doesn't have a ton of pop, but he gets extra base hits. He's great. Well, Jeter wasn't that good of a defender, but I'm not getting into the analytics arguments on that. Jeter was a terrible defender, and if you think that his however many gold gloves make him a fantastic defender, I beg to differ with you. But yeah, no, DJ gobbles up everything hit his way. He's exactly what we needed on this team. With runners in scoring position, he's hitting like 491 or something like that.
It's ridiculous. And throughout the whole year, you need that kind of guy, especially in the Yankees power heavy lineup. Man on second, BJ's up, he's getting a base hit, or he's working nice at bat. And it's got doesn't strike out either. It makes contact every single time. I obviously not, but most of the time. Great at third, second, place him first. That was a great time. What is it? 2 years, $20 million for Mayu?
2 years, 24. I remember people saying they wanted Marwin instead. That was a big take.
Really?
I don't know why we got DJ. I wanted Marwin. Obviously, it was Manny was the big guy that
everyone wanted.
Upset about.
But I mean, Cashman does it again. I mean, this guy is, like a very key part of the lineup nowadays, and yeah, I don't know what to say. He's great. I mean, he's like, and the fact that like everyone got hurt to make him play is.
Yeah.
You said like
he didn't start on opening day.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a crazy thing to think about.
It's the fact that Tyler Wade was playing or wasn't up. Everyone was complaining, and DJ was like an afterthought, basically.
Yeah, no one even complained about DJ being on the bench. Yeah,
exactly. So
I mean, in all fairness, part of that was because Andujar is now done for the year. But
Right. That is a big part.
I mean, regardless, it's pretty crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else can we talk about? Oh, the draft. The MLB draft happened.
Draft.
This week.
Yes.
Yankees took in the first round Anthony Volpe, a shortstop from New Jersey. Who I don't know. Did you see his Twitter? Apparently, he's like a huge Yankee fan.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
He had to tweet when Didi homered in the wild card game with the thumbs down from that year. That was a fun ride. A couple kids who go to my high school, which if anybody wants to come to the Heschel Heat playoff game today, you're actually no, because this episode's probably getting released later today after the game's already played. But by the time you're listening to this, the Heschel Heat have probably either won in advance to the championship or unfortunately lost in the semifinals. But very exciting day. But a couple kids that are on my team know him. A couple kids that go to my school know him. I know Nate. You know.
Yeah, Montana Semmel.
Montana Semmel, who got taken in the 36th round.
Well, I don't know him personally, but I used to play with him against him in Little League, and every time he comes to bat, the coach would send 5 of us to the outfield. He's kind of like the Joey Gallo of Little League. He used to hit dingers. I mean, this guy is but now he's a pitcher. But back when he was in Little League, he hit too. Hit dingers. This guy, he's a big guy. So Montana, if you listen to this, you can call on the podcast anytime.
Yeah, if any Yankees
or any Yankee, anyone,
more than happy to have you.
Yes, we'd love to have you.
I messaged Anthony Volpe on Instagram. He didn't read it yet. We'll see. That might be a bit of a pipe dream. Yeah, it's hard for me to get excited about the MLB draft because I think it is for a lot of people for a bunch of reasons. I mean, one of it is I don't watch a ton of college baseball, so I don't really know who the big players are going into the draft. I knew Adley Rutschman was going number 1. He's supposed to be really good. I knew that. Another part of it is obviously you don't really see these guys in the majors for another 3-4 years.
A while.
So it's hard to get too excited about them just yet. But I mean, hey, I remember I was watching when the Yankees drafted Aaron Judge, and his comp was Stanton, and now he's Stanton's a great player. Judge is a lot more valuable than he is to this team,
sure.
Which is pretty crazy to think about. Yeah. But also because international free agents are kind of Cashman's way to get new young talent. He likes that more than the draft, it seems.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, it's exciting. Nate, anything else? We miss anything?
Don't believe so.
All right.
Possible.
Well, we have 2 giveaways up now for anybody who wants to enter. We have on Twitter a Masahiro Tanaka game used jersey card, which I can still see. It's about 10 feet away from me right now, still waiting to ship it out once we get another 240 something followers on Twitter.
Once again, when I want to make 240 big counts,
you can make 240 at whatever accounts, and you'll have a much higher chance of winning. So feel free to do so. And then Nate gave a little spiel about what's it called, our Ticket IQ giveaway. Or it's not even a giveaway, right? It's like a discount code on Instagram right now. So you don't even have to do anything to enter to do that. You just have to.
Well, it's both. It's a discount giveaway, like a discount you can get, and a giveaway.
Yeah, because there is a giveaway.
Yeah. So it's all on Instagram. That information.
Check our Instagram. All the details are about it there. It's a little complicated, but if you want free tickets, you'll go.
If you need any help, just DM us, G6 Podcast, and Instagram and Twitter.
More than happy to help. Once again, a shout out to our good friends at Ticket IQ. And at Yanks Universe on Instagram.
Yanks Universe.
Thank you guys so much for listening. The next time we record the podcast is probably going to be Nate and I doing it in person for the first time, so that's going to be exciting. Okay. Looking forward to that. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Go Yankees. Peace.
Go Yankees.